Thank you, David Adams. Good morning, everybody. To all our friends out there in virtual land, good morning. I give a shout out to Michael and Melinda Wilhelm down in Houston, Texas. They call him Vitamin Mike because he has a very vibrant, uplifting spirit, and he's definitely made a difference in my life for the better. So hi to you. I hope everything is well. Charlotte, it's good to see you. It's been a long time. Who else is here? You up there, there's always, at this time, there's always the light comes through the window and it hits one person and they just glow. And that's you. Raise your hand. You. There. Yeah. You are surrounded by this fabulous golden light right now. You just look like an angel. So I'm sure that you are. Anyway, I welcome you all to Unity Temple in the Plaza, a place where diversity is praised and peace and harmony are the rewards. And I'd like to begin by with something that Jesus said. It's in the Gospel of Thomas. He said, I find it amazing that the body came into this world to serve the Spirit. And I find it amazing that the Spirit came into this world to serve the body. And he was referring to the fact that we are physical beings and we have physical attributes, that part of us that you can see and you can touch and we can taste and we can hear. We have physical attributes such as strength that allow us to go out and live our lives. And we're also spiritual beings. And we have spiritual attributes that are unlimited in potential, like love and peace and faith and hope and a myriad of other spiritual attributes within us that we can utilize to make the world a better place. So our objective, the goal for each and every one of us, is to take our physical being, express our spiritual being, and make a difference in the world for the better. It's very simple. That is our primary objective. That's the purpose for our being here. That's the reason for life for each and every one of us, is to make a difference for the better in life. That's all we have to do. Everything else is just fluff and flurry as you go about your daily activity. If you make a difference for the better, that's the rent you pay for living on this planet for one day. Now, my cousin Ozzy has a special knack for noticing opportunities when he can make a difference for the better. You know, he's not particularly brilliant, he's not particularly talented, he's not particularly a hard worker. He doesn't particularly do anything but sit at Lars's Tavern for most of the day. But he does have this knack for seeing opportunities where he can make a difference for the better. The other day he was at Lars's Tavern, and Lars was telling him that he'd been having a difficult time sleeping, because every time he went to bed, this fear came over him like a clap of thunder because he thought somebody was under the bed. He would get up, he'd turn the light on, he'd look under the bed, there was nobody there, he'd go back to bed, the fear would return, and he is absolutely positive what he feared was true. Now, he had read books by experts on insomnia, he had been to a psychiatrist, he went to a hypnotist. He even hired a psychic to see if there was a ghostly visitor in his house, but all to no avail. Still, every time he went to bed, he was afraid somebody was hiding under the bed. So after hearing this, Cousin Ozzy said to Lars, give me the keys to your house. I'll be back in a little while. Lars gave him the keys. Ozzy ran off, returned in 20 minutes, and he says, you'll never have to worry about somebody being under your bed again. And Lars was dumbfounded. He said, what on earth did you do? And Cousin Ozzy said, I sawed the legs off your bed. Oh, God. Did I tell that last week or something? I expected a much bigger laugh than that. But the whole point is, just like Cousin Ozzy, each and every one of us can always make a difference for the better. No matter where we are, no matter what we're doing, no matter who we're with, it can be with a stranger, it can be with a friend, it can be with a family member, it can be with a foe. It doesn't make any difference. When we interact with life, we have the ability to make a difference for the better. And the beautiful thing about that is when we do that, it feels good. If you're having a down and out day, if you got the blues, if things aren't going right, everything seems wrong, nothing seems right, the surefire remedy for that is to go out and do something good for another person. It immediately picks you up and moves you forward because it fulfills your purpose. It fulfills your reason for being here. You make a difference for the better. And there's opportunities everywhere all the time to do that. I read a story this week about a lady who got up in the morning, she wrote a letter to a friend, went to put a stamp on the envelope, and she realized that that was the day that stamps went up 1 cent. So the stamp she put on wasn't able. Through this, every single time they changed the price in stamps, she deplored the whole ritual of going to the post office, standing in line with other irritable people, waiting to get 1 cent stamp so she could mail a letter. But she had another choice. So she went to the post office, got in line. She was right. There's a long line, moving slowly, if at times didn't seem to be moving at all. The lady behind the counter was very stressed out. The people in line were kind of had this fuming air to them. But she persisted. And finally she got to the front to order her stamps. And she said, I want 1 page of 100 1-cent stamps. The woman behind the counter pulled out the 1 page. She went to her purse to get $1, and then she paused. And she turned around and looked at the people behind her. She counted the number, and there were 19. She took a $20 bill out of her purse, gave it to the person behind the counter, and says, give me 20 pages of 1-cent stamps. And when she left, she gave a page to every single person standing in the line. The people cheered. The woman behind the counter laughed. Everybody was happy by that one simple gesture. Now, it cost her $20, and she said she didn't have the $20 to spend, but it was well worth it just because when she left, she felt so much better about her experience. So, I might not know you well. I might not know you at all. But this I know about you to be true. You have good within you. The spiritual attribute of good is there. You can express that good. You have kindness within you. You have love within you. You have compassion within you. You have a sense of moral support within you, and you live in a world where every single day you interact with people, whether you know them or whether you don't, that need good. They need love. They need kindness. They need compassion. That they are just having a struggle moving through that day, and you are there, you got it, you can give it to them, you still got it, your life is better and their life is better. It's very simple. That's our reason for being here. It makes us feel good, and we make a difference in the world for the better. Well, that all sounds fine, doesn't it? But why doesn't it happen? How come more of us don't do it more consistently? And there's 2 reasons for that. The first reason is that we forget. We got all embroiled in some sort of a situation or a circumstance. You know, we're dragged down into that dark, dank pit of despair. We get overwhelmed with these thoughts of poor me, what am I going to do? How am I going to make it through? Sometimes it lasts for hours, sometimes it lasts for days, sometimes it lasts for months. I went through a time in my life that was just like the time I'm speaking of. I don't know what took me down, but it was something, but I was down and out. And one day I was walking down the street, 47th Street, just up the hill here, by the school. I was walking down the street, trudging down the street would be more like it. My eyes were looking down, just kind of rolling over the smutty cement. And all of a sudden, I heard the voice of a young child. Well, I looked up and there was nobody there. I turned around and looked behind me, and there was a little girl who had passed me, and I hadn't even noticed her. A little girl walking with her mother, holding her mother's hand. In the other hand, she had a balloon. She was in a party dress, right down to her black patent leather shoes. She was kind of half skipping down the walk, and she was singing, Farah Jaka, dormez-vous, dormez-vous, which means, are you sleeping, Brother John, Brother John? All the birds are singing, morning bells are ringing, ding, ding, dong. And for some reason, I don't know why, whether it was the little girl that was singing it, or whether it was a song, or whether it was just the point of absolute despair that I was in, but it did something to me. I stopped and I just watched that little girl disappear into the distance until I could barely hear her singing. And then the question came to me, are you sleeping? And the answer was yes. I wasn't literally sleeping, but I wasn't awake to the abundance and the glory of life all around me. And I hadn't been for a long time. That little girl was like an angel that drifted into my life for some reason or other and awakened me as to, no matter what you're going through, no matter what kind of situations and circumstances you face, no matter what your relationships are doing at the time, there's always an abundance of glory in your world. You just have to wake up to it. The problems and the difficulties that we face are just a small part of our life. There's a whole other part that is always just glorious. So there's two reasons why we don't go out and make a difference for the better all the time. The first is that we forget. We are not mindful being what is happening right here, right now. We are not mindful of the good in the world. Instead, we are swallowed up by remorse about something that happened in the past, or fear and anxiety about something that might happen in the future, and we just go through life kind of in an asleep manner. The second reason is we engage ourselves with people or places or things in an adversarial way. We end up having an enemy of some sort outside of us, whether it is slow-moving traffic or somebody that's rude and offensive, a workplace where the environment is not good, whatever it might be, it becomes the adversary. And we step back, and we all of a sudden have this enemy. Our thoughts are not about how can I make a difference for the better. It's like, how can I defend myself from this situation, and how can I offend or launch an offense back to let the person or the situation know that I am immovable in this, and that I am not going to retreat or surrender. We go through life with adversaries, and that doesn't make a difference for the better. Now, in the first book of Corinthians, chapter 10, it says, and I paraphrase, the kind of troubles that you have and the problems that you face, they're like problems and troubles that everybody has. Everybody has difficult times. But it says, you have the power within you to rise above, overcome, or move beyond whatever trouble you face. And it's like a test. At the time of the test, you will discover what you need to not get infected with it so that it continues to live on. In the Gospel of Thomas, Jesus says, abide with your adversary quickly. Abide meaning to live with. Adversary means anything that hampers your peace of mind, any sense of an enemy out there, whether it's a person or not. And quickly means as soon as possible, as soon as you can. You know, the difficult times that come into our life that create all these negative emotions, they're not meant to last. They're not meant to be carried forward. And each and every one of us in here that has studied unity, we know for sure what we think about expands. Thinking is energy. Energy creates thoughts. What we think about, we become. What we think about most of the time, we become. So when we're continually rolling over and over these difficult situations, like a tongue rolling over an aching tooth, all we're doing is creating a set of beliefs and thoughts and feelings and perceptions that become dominant in our nature, and it creates a black shroud around us where we can't see beyond it. Agree or abide with thy adversary quickly. Now, Jesus doesn't say, never get angry, never be resentful, never get frustrated, because he knows those are natural emotions of life. We all do it. But what he does say is, get over those things quickly. Don't carry them forward, because by doing so, you cannot fulfill your purpose of making a difference for the better. Now, as I said earlier, I know each and every one of you in here has good within you, and there's someone out there that needs good. You have kindness within you, you have love within you, you have compassion within you, and there's somebody out there right now that needs that. There's somebody that you'll run into today. It might be someone at the grocery store, it might be somebody on the street, who knows, but they need something that you have, and you can give it away and still keep it. It's just a matter of, first of all, being mindful, and second of all, not getting all wrapped up in an engagement of some sort with an adversary. Make a difference for the better. Very, very simple. And as I said, the plus to all of that is that it makes you feel good. It feels good to do good for somebody else. So as we move into meditation today, I want you to just think about maybe some spot in your life that is a little bit off balance, that is creating a little bit of anxiety in your life. And if it's a dispute with another person, as it says in the 6th chapter of Matthew, if you go to pray to God and you have something against another person, leave. Leave the church, go out, make it good, and then come back. Because we cannot pray to God if God is at all, and then have a part of God, that expression that flows through every person, have a part of God that we're against. So, take a deep breath. Let's move into meditation. And as we do so, we'll listen to a beautiful piece of music.